Good morning, everyone. All right, we got Silicon Frontier number 17. Queenstown, New Zealand, by the way, is stunning. I'm originally from New Zealand, and this isn't this isn't an exaggeration of how good it looks. And yes, we still decide to invent Microsoft Teams. Anyways, massive day today. We've got Micron earnings coming up, which the market is so anxious about. Like it's actually hilarious just seeing the level of anxiety. Um, we've got just it's really really insane seeing how nervous people are about this. Like, yeah, I get prices going up, but DRAM pricing is stayed on point, right? Like we've had price increases over the past like quarter that have been like 30, 40, 50, something ridiculous like that. Like the prices haven't slowed down, so why would the earnings slow down? Um, of course, Micron's going to beat. I'm pretty sure it's going to beat by a wide margin. I think consensus is about $20. I'm willing to bet around 26. That's probably like the high end estimate that we see across the street, and I think that seems about right. Um, Ray Wang, this guy's from Semi Analysis. He wrote a little piece around memory, and someone calling the Moses of memory. I mean, I'll take that. I'll take that. So a lot of this is the same shit. It's like memory's been cyclical, blah blah blah. What's the new bit here? Key features of a new cycle. You have to invest capex, blah blah blah. Growth rate going down. DRAM pricing going. I don't know. Is this guy saying anything new? Of course, the AI stuff is behind the paywall. Kind of fucking useless. Anyway, moving on. So a few interesting developments today. We had Broadcom and what you call it, OpenAI announced a partnership for their own chip, which of course will need memory. That's the thing I think that people don't understand about the memory trade. Like maybe you can cut out NVIDIA from your custom silicon stack, but you can't cut out memory. Like everyone needs memory. Um, so let's see. SK Hynix is, I think they got the green light last night for their ADR listing in the United States, targeting July 10th, which isn't more than about 2 weeks away, roughly, or about 2 weeks. Very, very exciting. 72% operating margin. I think they're selling about 20 billion, $30 billion worth of shares. And I feel like there's a debt transaction in here as well. So in equity financing, a U.S. liquidity access, and a potential index eligibility catalyst. This would be massive. I mean, depending on how much of the float they actually add, this is one of like those trends where you're like, this could be genuinely really powerful. Um, There's something that I actually didn't even realize about the thing. So, yes, SK Hynix is dominant. It could trade a premium, control voting power, index inclusion pathway. Okay. Um, of non-primary ADRs. For non-primary ADRs, a full market capitalization used for eligibility is the total value of depository shares listed on the exchange, while foreign listed shares are excluded. So, if even though Hynix is at 1.35 trillion market cap, it wouldn't be relevant unless uh, it's only 30 billion, but it could qualify for the Nasdaq 100. The trading volume is definitely going to meet criteria. Um, yeah, so interesting. I think because the fact that I guess like a quote tiny part of the float is being listed, I think index inclusion is going to take a bit more time, or it's conditional correct. So cool, nothing too crazy there. Let's see what else is going on. We got a bunch of insider buys on Intel today. Nancy Pelosi just 5 million into Intel. Like, at some point you're like, okay, the fact that she's buying at, let's look at the chart here, right? Like, if Nancy Pelosi's buying here, kind of like fuck. What does she know that us plebs do not know? Because that's a pretty, I don't know. Well, her portfolio is what, like I think 100 million. What's Nancy Pelosi net worth? Okay, so this isn't even a 2% position for her. So, but hey, she loves making money, so maybe I guess that is what it is. Yes, this was the Broadcom AI optimized chip. Going into it, I'm pretty sure it also uses HBM4. The chip's called Jalapeno, funnily enough. Blah, blah, blah. Best inference platform. Okay. Tell me about the memory. Nope. But the fact that we're seeing we had Anthropic 2 days ago talk about how they're co-designing with Micron. We now have OpenAI designing their own chips. So it seems like the labs are moving to their own silicon stack, which makes sense. But what I love is it keeps the memory thesis going on. Like nothing stops this train. Blah, blah, blah. NVIDIA to Micron. If Micron sells on these earnings, I'm genuinely going to be like, this doesn't make sense. But okay, maybe the day after goes a little down. But I feel like so many people have priced in it going down, and the stock has already go down, that it feels like it'd be strange for it to actually go up to a lot of people, which makes it a more likely outcome. But this shit's like, I don't know. Who cares about speculating about it as long as the earnings are up and to the right? And I've seen the data on analyst revisions. In the past month, the estimates for their earnings have basically skyrocketed. There's people far smarter than you and I who've modeled the shit out of all of this, and the trend that they say is that it is fucking exploded. That's really the bottom line. I'm trying to see if I can actually find that tweet. I know it was used basically off private data. That's why I'm kind of more confident on it. Let me see if I can quickly find that, because I think that's a really good data point. Where is it? Nope, can't find it. Anyway, or it must be here somewhere. I'm sure I'll come across it. I mean, we can just go Micron earnings. Oops. Yes, this was the chart right here. So, and I think this would be the month of May. Okay. Not sure which language this is in, but yeah, its earnings estimates for financial year 27 have basically crossed $120 now. So if you kind of think about that, like, let's say Micron consensus is about $20. Let's see, right? So we look here, March 26th. So, I think guidance is about $20. But consistently, Micron's beat by 20, 30%. So if we even take 25% beat on $20, you get $25. 25 by 4 is $100 of earnings. I think that's the base case everyone's already kind of modeled out, and that's why we see the 10x forward PE. But if we had something ridiculous like, I think $30 of earnings, I think it's going to send everyone into overdrive. Like $30 of earnings, you've got now $120 of earnings per share, assuming no growth for financial year 30, 40. Yeah, for financial year 27. Even if they do 25, the growth that they'd get in future quarters would more than justify north of $100 of earnings per share. But at 120, if the stock doesn't stay to at least 1200, the Micron actually got cheaper. So if the market gives us a buying opportunity where, I don't know, it goes down, it's genuinely a gift. I remember when the SanDisk earnings came out back in, I think it was early this year, Feb or March, and they just knocked it out of the park. And the stock went up and then went down. It was like, I can get this cheaper than it was. Like, it's genuinely a little baffling. So anyway, I would say just make sure you know what your thesis is, have your conviction, and play accordingly. Bernstein, it's really weird. They're really bullish on the upcycle, but they believe that earnings are going to disappear in 2028. Caviar grilled rat. Lol. And yeah, this is, I think, a really interesting chart of like a lot of the changes in price are driven by earnings. And I think people who don't understand this and be like, oh, the stock market's gone up. It's like, yeah, but like it's not gone up in the absence of anything. It's gone up because earnings have changed materially because we're at the forefront of a technological revolution or a structural change in how the world works, which is quite frankly financed by the displacement of labor. If you don't get that, then I'm not really sure what to tell you. Um, so, what I don't get is someone like this. Okay, he's like, um, Micron and Sandisk and others are enjoying operating margins of 70% that make no sense. Why does it not make sense? These are complex technological processes. Uh, why do they not deserve it? It seems bizarre to me. They've been working on this technology for a few decades. It's like, you think it should really be worth 10% margins? It's like, it's so absurd. Anyway, 10 for 1 price split. I mean, I'm all here for it. Sigma Intel, I can't remember. Someone had some doubts around this, but yeah, like if you look into Q 2026, prices have gone up by 40 to 100% across the board, right? And if you're seeing DRAM prices have gone up by that much, do you really think Micron is only gonna beat expectations by 20%? At this point, I'm actually happy analysts are very conservative because it gives a lot of room for them to beat. So this is an interesting take by Midnight Capital. He basically says if memory manufacturers squeeze too much, you could have demand destruction. And look, I partly agree to it. Like, if you're seeing 90% plus margins, then maybe, but still, like, what choice do people have? And the thing is that everyone is going to start raising prices now. So the cost per gigawatt's only going to keep going up because everyone's going to realize, like, hey, we have a monopoly. Let's exert this on everyone. So, yeah. Earnings are up today. I mean, yeah. big day for the semi-trade, but should be good. I think this is hilarious. Just the Department of Commerce is showing Micron. It doesn't get more epic than that. So, EPS of $20. To me, this is just bare. Like, this is such a conservative outcome. But anyway, at revenue, Q3 EPS of 20. Q4 EPS of 24. If they smash through to 26, have basically even beaten quarter 4 expectations, which is going to create a violent frenzy of people revising up. This is a chart that I think is the money shot, right? Like, we're in third quarter 2026, so we've got 1, 2, 3. So by quarter 1 2027, that's when we're going to see peak skepticism, and then all the pricing power is just going to evaporate. I find this so hilarious. Yeah, what if earnings keep going up in the quadrillions, then what? Basically, I don't think people are really prepared for what happens. Yeah, no, this is so dumb. It's baffling. Yeah, a plateau is the best you could hope for, but to think it decline like that is insane. This is how they model CapEx too. Yeah. If you know how to think, there's money to be made. That's all I will say. Cool. Yeah, I feel like until we get Micron earnings, it's going to be hard to really speak about too much. Everyone is speaking about Micron earnings, but we don't have the actual Micron earnings. But yeah, if we get something like $26 of earnings, please no, let's make this the other way. But if we get something like $26 of earnings, we're so good. We're so back. Um, it's just like the market is this constantly anxious kid that you just have to keep appeasing with numbers. And as we get into July and August, where it's going to be like peak earning seasons for a bunch of the other semi companies, it's only going to keep reaffirming the trade. So, anyways, what else do we have? I feel like Micron earnings we've spoken about quite a lot. Amcor, packaging, cool. SpaceX joining the Nasdaq 100. That is so corrupt, but it is what it is. I don't really know if we have anything else to cover today. Oh, this was the other, of course. Japan announces a $2.3 trillion investment plan through fiscal 2040, meaning like Japan itself is, let's say, as a country spending, what, 100? No, it would be 150 billion dollars of capex a year. Like, and you're bearish on the AI trade, really? It's ridiculous. You have the US spending trillions, China spending trillions, and Japan is spending trillions. Just wait for more nation states to come on board. It's this is truly an unprecedented time. So, money printer go burr. Plus, we get some lower rates, and watch how this thing flies. Yeah, this is bearish for Cerberus, hands down. Like, OpenAI is like, yeah, hey, we don't really need your specialized chip running our model. We're just going to create our own chip that runs our own model. So, very bearish on them. I would definitely short, but I typically do not short. Look who showed up, Elon Musk. Yeah. Cool. Let's see what China CXMT is up to. So they topped 50 billion in revenue and margins at 70%. This is the hilarious thing. People are like, oh, the Chinese are going to come out and flood the market with cheap memory. It's like, guess what, bro? They also have expensive memory at 70% margins. You really think they're going to like undercut everyone else and cut their own monopoly? It's like, hell no. China, like, CXMT is literally just trying to service their own demand. And it's only, yeah, their own margins are only 5 to 10% lower. So they have no interest in dumping memory. The whole bear case of like, oh, China will flood the market is like, that is dumb. You're dumb if you believe that. Like, I just don't really know what to say. There's so much stupidity in this market that it really makes me question the whole like efficient market hypothesis. The market is only efficient to the ability that it can comprehend the information it is presented. But at a certain point, for some reason, the market cannot comprehend like computer architecture information. Well, it makes sense. People aren't experts with computer architecture, but I mean, to think it's efficient when you have the bear case for memory being China will flood the market, and then you have headlines that say China's retaining their margin, it's a basic comprehension skill and or basic critical thinking. But hey, who am I to say anything? Keep being bearish, friends. Yeah, if you're long HBM memory, like this is the classic right here. You have someone who doesn't understand much about how computer architecture works, and then it basically says DRAM being flooded by the Chinese, which we already know is false because of the high margins they're retaining. It doesn't mean if you can make DRAM, you can make high bandwidth memory. Like, but I don't know why this is just so difficult for people to understand. So anyway, I realized my volume was a bit lower. Yeah, I was like, this is a bad take. Anyway, that's a bit about it for today. Maybe I'll do a little special stream for the Micron earnings, or I'll just catch you all tomorrow to whatever it may be. Stay safe out there, everyone, and take care. Goodbye.